That first win can be so shedding of some of that weight, some of that volume.
Right.
And I gave her the biggest hug that I could. I hugged her. I said, "I'm so proud of you." I go, "Savor this. Use this as a formula." I said, "But keep being you." And when she saw me, she's like, "Oh man, finally somebody I see that's on my side."
Right, they can relate.
She was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I said, "No matter what, keep being you," And then she thanked me, and then I bounced.
Caitlin Clark just dropped 30 points with a black eye. Let that sink in. While some players are busy stirring up Twitter beef, Clark's out here looking like a basketball superhero. But this story, it's way more complicated than you think. Imagine going from college superstar to WNBA rookie overnight. That's Clark's world right now. Everyone's watching, expecting her to be the next big thing, but here's the crazy part. She's not just dealing with the pressure on the court. There's drama brewing in the locker room and rivalries heating up on the hardwood. You know what's even crazier? This is just the beginning of Clark's journey. She's facing challenges left and right, both on and off the court. It's like she's the main character in some epic sports movie, but this is real life. Will she rise above the noise and prove she's the real deal? Or will the pressure be too much? Let's talk about how Clark's rookie season is turning into one wild ride. Clark's rookie journey is wild enough, but it's not even the biggest drama in Indy right now. Leaked tweets, locker room tension, and a 1-10 start. The Fever's season is on fire, and not in a good way. You thought Clark's black eye was the craziest thing happening in Indiana. Think again. While she's been lighting up the scoreboard, there's been a Twitter storm brewing that's shaking up the entire Fever locker room. It all started with Dijonai Carrington. She fired off some tweets defending her girlfriend, Nalissa Smith, against angry fans. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Those tweets blew up into a full-on controversy about loyalty and team dynamics. Fans were questioning Smith's commitment to the team, and suddenly, the Fever's struggles on the court started making a lot more sense.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA. We've seen the animus directed at Caitlin Clark all year. Ever be the biggest star in American sports was assaulted 2 minutes into the game on a dirty play with one of these women with these long fake fingernails that stabbed her in the eye. But damn it, in the first 2 minutes of this game, this Dijonai Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye.
Imagine being a rookie in the middle of all this drama. Clark's trying to find her footing in the league, and meanwhile, her teammates are caught up in a social media firestorm. But here's where Clark sets herself apart. While everyone else is caught up in the Twitter beef, she's staying focused on her game. The Fever's 1-10 start? It's not just about what's happening on the court anymore. There's tension in the locker room, and it's spilling out onto the hardwood. You can almost feel the unease every time the team steps onto the court. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, and fans are wondering if anyone can turn this season around. But in the middle of all this chaos, there's Clark. She's not getting dragged into the drama. She's not firing off angry tweets or taking sides. Instead, she's letting her game do the talking. And let me tell you, her game is saying a lot. You know what's really impressive? Clark's composure. She's a rookie, but she's handling this situation like a seasoned pro. While her teammates are caught up in the Twitter storm, Clark's out there dropping 30 points with a black eye. That's the kind of focus and determination that makes veterans sit up and take notice. And notice they have. Both teammates and opponents are starting to see Clark in a different light. It's not just about her skills on the court anymore. It's about her maturity, her ability to stay above the fray when everything around her is falling apart. In a locker room divided by social media drama, Clark's becoming a unifying force. This whole situation is like a pressure cooker, and Clark's proving she can handle the heat. She's not just surviving her rookie season, she's thriving in spite of all the obstacles. It's like watching a young player write the first chapter of what could be an epic WNBA story. While Clark's been writing her story, another player's been trying to steal the spotlight. Picture this: a heated exchange, a controversial taunt, and an accidental poke that left Clark seeing stars. Is this the birth of the WNBA's next great rivalry? You thought the drama was just in the locker room? Think again. The real fireworks are happening on the court, and it's all centered around Clark and Dijonai Carrington. These two aren't just playing basketball, they're writing the first chapter of what could be an epic WNBA rivalry. Let's set the scene. It's a high-stakes game between the Fever and the Sun. The tension's so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Definitely had our opportunities late, and then a few different miscues, and it's back to a 2-possession game, and we couldn't quite get over the hump there.
You know, a couple of defensive situations that we're gonna, go back and be probably really upset about. But I mean, these guys, they battled, and these guys, they're a great team. Connecticut is a great team.
Good little taste of, what's possible for this organization and for this franchise, and there's a lot for us to, hold our heads high about.
We're all competitors in that locker room, and so it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good to leave here and not have the opportunity to get another one.
Carrington drains a three-pointer, and what does she do? She turns to the Fever fans and shushes them. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. But Clark, she doesn't miss a beat. She takes that disrespect and turns it into motivation. Before Carrington can even lower her finger, Clark's blowing past her for a layup. It's like watching a chess match, but with way more attitude. Now, here's where things get wild. Just 2 minutes into a playoff game, Carrington accidentally pokes Clark in the eye. Suddenly, our rookie sensation is sporting a shiner that'd make a boxer proud. But you know what's really crazy? Clark doesn't even flinch. She's out there playing like nothing happened, refusing to use it as an excuse. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about grit, determination, and who's got the mental edge. Clark's sending a message loud and clear. It's gonna take more than a black eye to knock her off her game. The fans, they're going nuts. Social media is blowing up with debates about sportsmanship and rivalry. Some are Team Clark, praising her resilience. Others are defending Carrington, saying it's just part of the game. It's like the WNBA's version of a Twitter war, but with way more at stake. But here's what's really impressive, Clark's response to all this. While everyone else is busy arguing, she's letting her game do the talking. She's not firing back on social media or complaining to the refs. She's just out there bawling, black eye and all. It's like Clark's operating on a whole different level. She's not just playing against Carrington or the Sun. She's playing against the pressure, the expectations, and all the noise. And she's winning. This Clark-Carrington showdown, it's more than just a rookie versus a veteran. It's a clash of styles, of attitudes, of approaches to the game. Carrington's got the flash and the trash talk, but Clark's got this quiet intensity that's just as powerful. You know what's really wild? This is just the beginning. We're watching the birth of a rivalry that could define the WNBA for years to come. It's Carrington's swagger versus Clark's steely resolve, and neither one's backing down. So what's next for these two? Will Carrington keep trying to get under Clark's skin?
The fact that the Michael Jordan of the WNBA was assaulted has a black eye during the second half of the game because Dijonai Carrington stabbed her with her fingernails in the eye. Dijonai has a history with Caitlin Clark, like many of these girls in the WNBA, but she's at the top of the list along with Kennedy Carter in Chicago and Angel Reese. That's not a natural act of you contest a shot and then all of a sudden your hand turns downwards and straight into the eye of the biggest star in the WNBA.
Will Clark keep rising above it all? One thing's for sure. Every time these two step on the court together, fans are going to be on the edge of their seats. Just when you thought the Fever's season couldn't get any wilder, Caitlin Clark pulls off the impossible. How did one rookie turn a struggling team into playoff contenders? And who's singing her praises now? You won't believe who's stepping up to defend Caitlin Clark. It's none other than WNBA legend Cheryl Miller. Yeah, that Cheryl Miller. The Hall of Famer didn't just give Clark a pat on the back. She went all out saying, "I gave her the biggest hug that I could. I said, I'm so proud of you. Keep being you no matter what." That's huge, coming from someone like Miller. It's like Michael Jordan telling a rookie they're the real deal. But why is Miller so impressed? It's not just about Clark's skills on the court, it's about how she's handling all the drama off it. Think about it. While some players are getting caught up in Twitter beef and locker room tension, Clark's been laser focused on her game. She's not just playing well, she's changing how people see the Fever. Remember that 1-10 start? It feels like ancient history now. After the Olympic break, Clark led the Fever on a tear. They went 9-5 in that stretch, making a serious push for the playoffs. Clark wasn't just along for the ride, she was driving the bus. But here's where things get really interesting. Clark's success is sparking some big conversations in the WNBA. There's been talk about racism and misogyny in how the league gets covered. It's heavy stuff, but Clark's rookie season is forcing people to take a hard look at these issues. It's like Clark's play is holding up a mirror to the league. She's not just changing games, she's changing minds. And that's got everyone from fans to legends like Miller taking notice. You know what's wild? This is all happening in Clark's rookie season. Most players are just trying to find their footing in year one. Clark's out here changing the whole landscape of the league. But don't think for a second that it's been easy. Clark's faced some serious challenges. Remember that black eye or the Twitter storm that hit her team? Lesser players might have crumbled under that pressure. Not Clark. She used it as fuel, and that's what's got people like Miller so excited. It's not just about Clark's stats, though those are pretty impressive. It's about her attitude, her resilience, her ability to rise above the noise. Think about the impact Clark's having. She's not just helping the Fever win games. She's changing how people think about women's basketball. She's proving that you can be a rookie and a leader at the same time. It's like Clark's writing a whole new playbook for how to handle your first year in the league. Stay focused, let your game do the talking, and don't get caught up in the drama. That's the Caitlin Clark way. And it's working. The Fever went from being the league's punching bag to a team nobody wants to face. That's the Clark effect in action. She's not just putting up numbers, she's elevating everyone around her. Caitlin Clark's rookie season, it's been a wild ride. From Twitter drama to black eyes, she's faced it all. But here's the thing, Clark's not just surviving, she's thriving. After the Olympic break, she led the Fever on a 9-5 run, pushing for the playoffs. That's insane for a rookie. And guess who's noticed? WNBA legend Cheryl Miller. She gave Clark a big hug and said, "I'm so proud of you. Keep being you no matter what." That's huge coming from a Hall of Famer. But here's what's really crazy. This is just the beginning for Clark. She's not just changing games, she's changing minds. She's forcing people to look at how the WNBA gets covered. So what's next for Clark? Who knows, but one thing's for sure, she's just getting started, and we're all along for the ride.